Lamis Mazin asks about my haircut routine. They say they are getting shinier and softer. How to do it. So I think I'm gonna do a separate video about my current haircut routine. It's not overly complicated. Because I grow them now, I try to be as gentle and kind of leave them alone so they live their own life. Next year I'll be looking for a new shampoo without SLS, since the Body Shop shampoos I used so far have finished, but I still have some in stock in my cupboard, but they're ending, and I will be going back to the post I've asked some time ago on Instagram for people to recommend me different shampoos, and I will be trying them next year. On the hair topic, Zoha559 is asking about some working ways for hair fall and dark lips. Well, I don't really know anything to cure dark lips, except you may try the kojic acid cream or soap. It's not gonna bleach it to start with, it's just gonna remove the excess of melanin, so it's not gonna make them any lighter than they are naturally. It can just remove any tan if you happen to get some. And when it comes to hair fall, my most effective method is to use henna wax treatment. This is the product I have in my cupboard for years, and it's always effective. It's not gonna dye your hair. It has the extract from henna but not the coloring, and it gets into the root of the hair and works its magic, so they stop falling, and in fact they start to grow faster. Kamalo Valbina asks about my veneers. Can I tell you more about it? How do you feel them now? How do I feel them now? I made a video about them a while ago. Everything I've said there is still very much accurate. They feel like my natural teeth. They are still as good as they were day one. There is no chipping, no movement, no damage, no falling. They are also having a lifetime guarantee, so if anything happens to them, I can always go back to that clinic and they will fix it for me. I am extremely happy. It was one of the best decisions in my life. If this is your big insecurity, it can drastically improve the quality of your life. Oni Sayabat asks, what do you think about travel in Indonesia? There was another question about what I think about India. Now, I know there's quite a big following on my channel, people from India, which is so surprising to me and so exciting as well, because my best friend here in Edinburgh, she is from Indian heritage. I have only good memories in Indonesia. My friend lives in Jakarta. I've been there while I was traveling. Jakarta wasn't my favorite place. We've also went to this place called Bandung, where we had the performance with the traditional Indonesian music instruments. That was so good. That was such a nice insight into Indonesian culture. And then of course we flew to Bali, which was great. I was staying in this hostel, but it was really like individual houses, and they were right on the black sand beach. It cost me £3 for a night, and it was with breakfast included. I really enjoy Indonesia and I would go back there anytime. Sorry, my battery now finished and I had to change it, so there will be a lot of different angles in this video. Continuing about India, this is a place I would love to visit. It's fascinating. A lot of my friends have already been there. They all loved it. I just haven't had the opportunity to go yet, and I would love to go with my friend who is Indian in Edinburgh, because she is planning to make a trip there to discover her roots. So I think it would be really cool to go together. Also, my mom used to work in a place here in Glasgow, and she said that she observed that Indian people were one of the most hardworking people she has ever worked with. So that's a great compliment as well. I'm a bit cold. I'm wearing my hoodie just to keep me warm. Marisa Sandin is asking, I've watched all your videos about moving to the UK and it's something I really want to do. What was the visa process like? Did you find a job or housing in the UK before you moved? What was the hardest thing about moving? Because I'm from Europe, I didn't need any visa. Marisa, I'm not sure where Marisa is from. The visas are there obviously for those who are from outside of Europe. There probably will be now as well for European people after next March, after Brexit. So I was lucky to be able to have a free movement between the countries. Now I am a British citizen, I have British passport. All these visas don't affect me anymore. I didn't have a job or a house before moving to the UK. I was a teenager. I only knew one person who became a boyfriend after some time. Very quickly I found a job, very quickly. I came here only for a few days. I wasn't initially planning to stay here for very long, but as soon as I arrived to the UK, I just knew this is a place for me. Job-wise, it depends what field you're in. It's very easy to get into some basic jobs like hospitality, like waitressing, bartending, warehouse. There's a lot of work like this. Obviously, it's got a little bit more challenging when you have more specialist skills, but it's still possible. The workplace give people from different backgrounds the same opportunities, so that's a great thing about the UK. Housing, well, it depends where you are planning to arrive. It's relatively easy to rent anywhere in the UK. However, you have to be prepared that in places like London, the prices obviously are going to be crazy for renting, never mind for buying. So I live in Edinburgh, which is the second most expensive, I think, place after London. For renting, I'm very lucky for this place here, but I am looking to buy a flat in the next year or two. Fingers crossed, and yeah, that's gonna take a little bit more funds. The hardest thing about moving wasn't anything to do with physical things, in a sense. I wasn't worried about money or housing or any kind of these things. I was just a teenager running as far as I possibly can from home because I've had a dysfunctional situation there, and I didn't realize how hard all of these things are going to impact me in the future, in my head, rather than anything physical. Physically, I find living in the UK much easier than ever in Poland. Again, I don't know what country are you coming from, but UK is a good place to live, in my opinion. Twinkle Cower is asking, what would be your advice to someone who is going through depression currently? I really don't know why depression affects some people, and some people are just going through life without being stuck in the dark place, because depression is something very much present in my family, in my immediate family as well. I have never been diagnosed with one, no matter how hard things went in my life, and there were a lot of difficult moments, especially last year. For me, I always felt things moving in my heart, in my head, so I never really had a moment when I was stuck in a bad place. Things were always on a move. The advice I would say for someone going through depression is to realize that depression is an illness and it's treatable, that you shouldn't give up, because there are people out there who have been where you have been, and there are people who can help you. That's what I've learned when going through my therapy for adult children of alcoholics, is that there are a lot of people and organizations out there, resources, books, tools that can help you in whatever situation mentally you find yourself in. So please reach out for help. Debolina Akarji asks, how to be humble every time knowing that everything around you seems wrong? I've decided to include this question because I used to be the person who knew it all. I thought I have all the answers. I can judge when things are right and when they are wrong, things and people, until a glorious day when my world broken down. That's when I realized that I come from a dysfunctional home, which just gave me a completely wrong framework of what is right and what is wrong. Then I became so humble in front of myself. I just realized I know nothing, and I am in no position to judge anything or anybody. I definitely think the key was to face my own flaws and faults and imperfections, to be humble in front of myself, because after that it's easy to be humble against everything that happens to you or around you. You say when everything around seems wrong, well, that's what it is. Sometimes things just seems wrong, but actually in a long run, they turn to be the best thing that can happen to you. The key to being humble for the things outside of you is to humble yourself in front of yourself and in front of God, if you believe in one, because that will bring you to the right place in relation to everything that's around you. I believe so anyway. Happy Nezzy's Homemade asks, where can we get Korean skincare online in Europe? I live in Denmark, couldn't find any Korean brands here. So the place I buy my cosmetics are from yesstyle.com, Amazon or eBay. There are some odd different websites that I just find on Google, but I never know whether they are legitimate or not. So my best shot is yesstyle.com. I'm strongly convinced that they are doing worldwide delivery. So whether you are in Denmark or anywhere else, I think they will be delivering it over there. Magul Syed asks, any moisturizer for dry skin? Now, I don't have one specific moisturizer. I would say 10-step Korean skincare as a concept. It doesn't have to have 10 steps. It doesn't have to contain only Korean cosmetics, but the concept of layering different products using thinner layers, it's something that completely revolutionized my skin, and my skin used to be dry-ish. Now it's perfectly balanced, hydrated, normal. So I wouldn't say a moisturizer for dry skin. I would say try multi-step Korean skincare routine. Last question, because I'm getting asked about it a lot, which is what about dark circles or black circles around the eyes? How to deal with them? So because there are so many reasons dark circles can happen, it's hard for me to give one solution. I will be doing a separate video about it. I intended to do it for so long, but it just didn't happen yet. But that will be my focus in the next year. I'll try to explain how different eye bags happen and what can be done about them. I think I've covered most of the questions. Maybe there are like one or two that I have missed. It took a while, but we got there till the end eventually. Thanks very much for spending this time with me. Thank you for being here with me this year. Thanks for all your comments, messages, and support all over. I wish you very Merry Christmas. Have a great relaxing break. Have a good time with your family. I'll see you in my future little productions. Bye.